We bring you two of the biggest stars of the Republican Party. 2008 may be a long way off, but these two are shaping up as the ones to watch in the race for the White House. First, Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney spoke with me recently. Do you have a plan in Iraq?
Well, I wouldn't presume to present a plan different than that of the president, but I can tell you that I believe he was right to take the war on terror on an aggressive front,
yeah, but if you want
rather than a
people to
defensive
put you
front.
in that spot,
well, but let's
you're
continue.
going to have to.
Okay, let me continue. Secondly, what our responsibility is at this stage, given the fact that we went in, we toppled the government. I don't think we had as effective a plan in place as we needed to have, or enough boots on the ground to secure the country. But that's over now.
Right.
Where are we now? Where we're not right now is to give al-Maliki the support he needs to build a strong,
no matter how many
Iraqi.
Americans die?
Well, of course, we're going to stand behind this individual and this country as it has now a coalition government, with the hope that they'll be able to build a strong enough military to protect themselves. Walking away would mean a humanitarian disaster in that country.
I agree.
Some of my liberal friends say we should be in Darfur, and I understand that because people are being killed there. It's a real concern. But don't they recognize as well that if we were just to withdraw out of Iraq, that we would also create an enormous humanitarian disaster.
But
so we're there. We have a responsibility to finish the job.
But see, that's rhetoric, and that's what President Bush says. We have a responsibility. We're going to stand by. We're going to do this and the other thing. Here's the reality, with all due respect, Governor. The reality is that Iran is training and infiltrating people into Iraq.
Absolutely.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
And as long as that happens, those people aren't going to have democracy. You can't build a democracy when you have the country next door undermining everything you do with mad bombers. You can't. It's impossible.
You can't possibly look at the Middle East as being one country. You can't look at radical jihad as just being Iraq. It is a global effort, and we're going to have to bring in the resources of other nations in the world. In the case of Iran, no, in the case of Iran, China is one of the keys. And China needs this market dramatically. We have to build relationships with China. And with their access to this market being so important to them, we got to say, guys, we need you to work together with us because we have a mutual interest.
Would you go to China?
We do not want to see a nuclear warhead in Iran.
China doesn't think we're going to do anything to them if they don't help us in Iran. Would you go in there to China and say...
We're not going to threaten military action, but we are going to say,
economic action.
We're going to say, guys, you come in here quite easily. Things are very comfortable for you, and we have a very good relationship. But we expect a little help on a couple of key issues.
What if they say in Chinese, blank you, Governor?
Well, we have ways of saying a similar phrase back in English.
And Senator John McCain, who made a run in 2000, spoke with me recently. Most Americans, according to polls, have turned against the Iraq war. How do you read it?
I read it that there's some understandable frustration. There have been some mistakes made. The job of people like me and the president, and I intend to stay at it, is to convince the American people of the benefits of success, the consequences of failure, and to withdraw troops until we have the situation under control would be a disaster. When we left Vietnam, Bill, they didn't come after us. We leave Iraq, they're coming after us.
Okay. How do you win this war, though? Obviously, Rumsfeld would like to turn it around. Obviously, the Republican Party's reputation, as Lindsey Graham said on this broadcast, the GOP owns this war. How do you turn it around?
Well, I think one of the things you do, and they're starting to do it now and should have done it long ago, is you go into a place and you control it, you stay there, and give the people there a decent life, security, don't have to live in fear of attacks or murder or anything else, and then gradually expand that. The problem that what we've been doing in the past, we go into a place like Ramadi, and we kill insurgents, and we leave, and the bad guys come back in again.
But we don't have enough people to do that, do we?
Well, I would have liked to see more people. I still would. I don't think it's going to happen, but at least now we've got about 160,000 over there. And I think we could. And meantime, I forgot to mention the other part of the equation. We train up the Iraqi military so they can take over more and more of these responsibilities.
We've been doing that for 3 years.
I know, and it hasn't gone as well as we wanted to. I will admit freely that we have made mistakes, and I've been critical of those mistakes. But there's too much at stake here, Bill. We cannot lose this. And if we win, that is going to have a tremendous effect. It's going to. There's a whole lot of despots in the Middle East today that live in fear of a successful democracy
Assad
in Iraq.
next door is going to be in trouble.
The Iranians, even the House of Saud.
There is plenty more ahead as the factor moves along this evening. Actor Alec Baldwin speaks out.